to hitchhike on a regular basis on a weekend up to London to see the series of rock concerts they held at the Royal Festival Hall. And on this particular occasion, we hitchhiked up to see Joni Mitchell premiere her Blue album at the festival hall. And by the time we got there, it had sold out. But these were the days when Dorman had power. Said, don't worry, lads, I'll get you in. And he put us in the choir seats. So I sat from Me to You from Joni Mitchell while she played her Blue album for the first time in this country. And I fell in love with Joni, I fell in love with the Blue album, and I fell in love with this instrument, which she plays extensively on that record. And so I got back home and I had a chat with my other mate, also called Dave, and he said, that's an Appalachian dulcimer. He said, I'll make you one. So he made me this. As far as I know, it's the only one he ever made. So it's number one in a series of one. And in tribute to my two mates called Dave, I've called it Dave. Dave the dulcimer. And then I played the Bromsgrove Folk Club a little while back, and the promoter came up to me in the break after I'd done this song, and he said, I've got a dulcimer, but I haven't given it a name. I said, well, that's all right, you don't have to. I've never named an instrument before, I just thought it was appropriate with this one. So I called it Dave. He said, oh, okay. And then he went away, and then at the end of the night, he came up and he said, I've decided what I'm going to call my dulcimer. I said, what? He said, Reg. So it was great to know there is a dulcimer in this world called Reg. And the song I'm going to play for you is from another song cycle. I forgot to mention actually that if you buy this record, Stolen from God, you also get some fantastic musicians. There's Cohen Braithwaite Kilcoyne, who's an extraordinary young concertina player from Granny's Attic, a great player. That's not where he lives, that's the name of his band. And Jali Fili Sissoko, who's a master choral player from Senegal, which is really where the centre of the trade was. It was where most of the buying and selling took place in Senegal. So Philly is on there as well, and you have to hear to believe what they can actually do with that instrument. And if you take up a leaflet there, you can see where we're actually performing this show. We're performing it down at St Endellion in Cornwall. We're also at the Priddy Folk Festival and Torpuddle Martyrs Festival in Dorset as well. So, but if you get that flyer, you'll see the dates, and if you can't make it, maybe you can tell your mates. We'll be doing it. And so, anyway, back to this song cycle, which is it's called 12 Silk Handkerchiefs, and it's a story of the triple trawling disaster in Hull, or out of Hull, in 1968, in which 58 trawlermen lost their lives. 3 boats went down, and all but one person were drowned. This prompted a local woman called Lillian Balocca, known locally as Big Lil, for very good reason. If you look her up on YouTube, you'll see this formidable woman, Big Lil. And she decided it was time something was done. And so she put on her finest headscarf, and she got her 3 mates together, and they all put on their headscarves, and they set off for Parliament to get something done. And for this reason, they became known as the Headscarf Revolutionaries. And what they achieved became known as the greatest act of civil disobedience of the 20th century. They managed to get 50 new regulations they put in place, which were well overdue. By this time, over 6,000 men, trawlermen, had lost their lives, mainly due to negligence of the companies that ran the trawling industry. So it was about time, and what Lil achieved was magnificent. And one of the regulations she got put in place was for the boats which would travel out thousands of miles out into the Arctic Ocean without a radio operator, without any contact with land at all. So she managed to get them to fit all the boats with radios so that they could keep in touch. And as you probably know about the trawling industry, or the boating industry, that women weren't allowed onto the boats. There was a huge amount of superstitions about this whole business. and one of them was that women weren't allowed on or anywhere near the boats. So on a sailing day, Lil would go down to the docks and she'd call up to the boys on deck, do you have a radio operator on board? And if the answer came back no, Lil would climb onto the boats, at which point men would jump off rather than be on a boat with a woman. And so a great deterrent. So the women worked the fish houses and they called themselves the fish house women. So you'll have to suspend your disbelief for a moment while I play I Am the Fish House Woman. I am a fish house woman. My husband works away. He's working on the trawler, and I work a 9-hour day. My knife is sharp and cunning. Some say just like my tongue. My mother was a sinner till freezing took her love. In our apron, whites like angels, 6 girls to every table. We slice the silver darling as long as we are able. I laid a bit so pretty, each 2 pounds and a dozen. Warm water in the bucket to keep our hands from frozen. Cut 'em quick, cut 'em clean, keep 'em safe, keep 'em dry. We are born on this road, and upon the ice we die. You'll never get me trolling, not for 1,000 pounds. But when folk risk their foolish lives as another boat goes down, while they're fighting for their families, we're fighting for their rights, for the good Lord and the company, to keep them safe tonight. Cut 'em quick, cut 'em clean, keep 'em safe, keep 'em dry. We are born on this road, and upon the ice we die. With a warm coat wrapped around me to keep my bones from shaking, and a fellowship of sisters to keep our hearts from breaking. I am a fish house woman. My husband works away for 3 weeks on the trawler, and I work a 9-hour day. Cut 'em quick, cut 'em clean, keep 'em safe, keep 'em dry. We are born on this road, and upon the ice we die. Cut 'em quick, cut 'em quick. we die. I am a fish house woman, my husband works away.